Well, that was eventful to say the least. With many twists and turns along the way, we picked up with the group from Bayview following on from Addy killing Jake on the night of the Halloween party. But now they were being manipulated by an individual called Simon Says, who well and truly, like the saying, was making them do things. But instead of it being fun and playful, this instead was being carried out to damage their personal lives, future careers, and also endanger themselves, as Simon Says held evidence that put the murder club in the forest on the night that Jake was killed. So with that, I thought I'd recap, break down, and explain all that there was to take away from Season 2 of the show. So let's get into it. Here is One of Us is Lying Season 2, Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Season 2 of the show took the ante that was already present in Season 1 and upped it even further, as this time the group did actually kill an individual, and it wasn't about falsely framing one of them for the killing of Simon. We picked up directly where we left off at the end of Season 1 of the show, where they all received a text message from Simon Says where they had to start doing tasks, otherwise consequences would be met. As the season went on, we saw them appease Simon Says on multiple occasions, but all the while they were doing it, we saw them trying their best to find ways in which to catch the person behind the blackmailing. And of course, in true Who's Behind the Mask style, it was somebody who we didn't expect or even get that much screen time with, and that was Fiona. The character who we were first introduced to way back at the start of the season, who came across as innocent, and like she was kind and helpful, because she was positioned as an individual who tutored people. We saw the group realize this once they captured Vanessa and then went to Bronwyn's house on an island, and convinced her that they were not Simon Says and that they didn't want to kill her. Vanessa spilling the information on rehab and the connection of the chains that all people that attended there had joined all of the dots. It was only once breaking into the rehab clinic that they saw the photo on the wall and it was all complete. Fiona was at rehab with Jake in the summer before the current academic year, due to a secret that we still don't know about, so I feel it will become important for the plot of Season 3 of the show. They became friends, more than friends in fact, in the sense that Fiona developed feelings for Jake and cared for him deeply. Jake, however, as we saw in Season 1 of the show, exhibited controlling behaviors and powers, and he utilized them on Fiona too. He'd be kind to her when nobody was watching, but act like she didn't exist when people were, playing mind games with her. So much so that he even got her to help him cover up his involvement in the death of Simon in Season 1 of the show, and be the very person behind the blackmailing with the intention of framing Addy, something that she thought she was in the clear of. But recordings on the game's console put her naming the picture, as Jake willingly shared the information. In the final few scenes of the episode, we saw that Maeve went behind the group's back and was working with Fiona, tipping them off that she and Addy were on the boat and that it was her chance to get Addy for what she did. Fiona wanted payback because she cared for Jake deeply, and as she viewed it, it was an eye for an eye. I was shocked when it was revealed that Maeve was behind the group's back because it was a convincing performance. But it turned out that Maeve was only going behind their backs because she believed that Bronwyn's plan wouldn't have worked due to the fact that the main piece of evidence, which was the video recording of them in the woods on the night, would still be accessible. Maeve played Fiona, so she'd delete the video footage. And she also took the USB that had the backup version on it, which we saw had a lot of focus earlier on when they went to the theatre. This led Fiona to set fire to the boat once she realized that Maeve was playing her, and she then encountered Bronwyn at the harbour following her escape. The both of them then got into a one-on-one fight and Bronwyn ended up getting injured whilst Fiona was taken away and was framed for the murder of Jake, but also for the killing of Gillian. All Maeve wanted was to be considered as one of the group, considering she'd gotten them out of so much trouble in the past. But her sister Bronwyn would always prevent her from getting involved, and it was what ultimately led her to take things into her own hands. I feel it was a much more successful plan and it did work. And I am on the side of Maeve with this one, as I don't think Bronwyn's plan would have worked, but she's too proud to admit that. As we saw, it was a common theme with the character. Fiona's arc came to an end when we saw that she was poisoned in her cell. I imagine this was Cole for a couple of different reasons. One, because we heard that his family own half of the town, so with the power and money I imagine they were able to bribe some officers. And secondly, Fiona revealed that she knew Jake's secret as to why he was in rehab. So whatever this secret is, it seems as though the family doesn't want it to get out. With all of them off the hook for the first time in several months and them all making it out okay, other than Cooper with his damaged arm, we saw them celebrating and Nate and Bronwyn shared a kiss after he gave her a necklace. However, after he said all we have to do is make it to graduation, We saw a flash forward of graduation and it essentially being a crime scene with Bronwyn's necklace being used as evidence. This means that a season 3 is definitely on the cards, and that their story is certainly not over. There are multiple suspects who could want to carry out an act of revenge on the murder club. We've got Cole, Jake's brother, who openly stated that he believed that Fiona didn't kill Jake and said that he'd do all that he could to get her out. TJ is currently sat behind bars and could want to carry out an act of revenge on the murder club if he were to get out. And also, let's not forget about Miss Avery, who the murder club made lose her job in season 1 of the show. We're still in the same academic year, so even though her absence was felt in season 2, she could well be cooking up a plan to take revenge on them for making her lose her job. I thought this season of the show was far better than the first season. I felt like there was genuine tension around if they were going to get caught, and I found myself constantly guessing who Simon Says was, and it's safe to say I didn't guess it until it was revealed, which is something that I appreciate. I found the world to feel far more fleshed out in this season and a lot less contained, which I think went in the show's favour. I also feel that we got to learn more about the characters and see different sides to them, such as Addy feeling responsible for killing Jake and the guilt that came with it, but her journey of escaping the hold that he had over her during death, breaking free, something she couldn't do when he was alive. Janae was navigating her gender identity and it was something that she'd been battling for a long while. Bronwyn and Nate's relationship was developing. We also saw Vanessa's journey of gathering evidence to be listened to and respected rather than just shelling out conspiracies. And we also had Cooper's battle with wanting to be in a relationship with Chris, whilst managing prospects of a career in baseball and finding the right sponsors. With Cooper's dad finding the letter that he left on the night that he was going to hand himself into the police, that now means that another individual knows what actually went on the night of Jake's death, and the murder club's involvement in killing Jake, so I'm intrigued to see his response to this in season 3 of the show. At its core, these people are very bad people. They killed somebody, covered it up, and framed somebody else. They deserve to be in prison just as much as Fiona does, so it's always strange how a show can position certain characters to make you think differently of them, despite their actions, and this show did that perfectly. There were some cringy moments in this season, but I think that's just the nature of following a group of high school students in a TV show, and adding the fact that they're covering up a murder, there's bound to be an element of cringe. 8 episodes for this season was the right decision. I feel we're rid of the days where a show made itself 10 episodes just because that was the standard practice, and now we're getting shows like this that don't provide fatigue when watching. I'd recommend giving this show a watch because it does keep you on the edge of your seat and wondering who Simon Says is, and also if they're all going to make it out alive. So, there you have it. One of Us is Lying Season 2, Ending Explained. If you want to see more videos such as Endings Explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button, or alternatively you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you'd like to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review, then head over to my Twitter, @brainpilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review next. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What did you think of Season 2? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.